this video is specifically to talk about this year in plant biology requirements for a specific assignment. So if you are not in this class, this video is not going to be worth your time to watch. But for those of you that have to be absent today, I wanted to talk about your secondary metabolite presentation. So fall 2017, these are going to be on Monday, October 30th. That's what we're doing during lab time. And each person does an individual presentation. So you've got the rubric, and if you're not here today, you can pick these up from me later. I've given you the rubric. This is what I use to grade. And then you have a set of guidelines. So what I want for, the reason I have this assignment is so that you have an assignment that's something that's not a test and not a quiz, that's something else that you can do on your own, and it's going to be this presentation. And what I want them to be about are chemicals that plants make as secondary metabolites, so not ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate or something that is like standard amongst several organisms, but a chemical that a plant makes for a particular purpose, a secondary metabolite. And so I want these to be for the audience of this class and also for the general public. So this is not science seminar level. This is informational and should be somewhat interesting to the class. So you pick a metabolite, and I want you to tell me what it's going to be so I can approve it or not. So for example, cocaine is a secondary plant metabolite, but I don't want you to pick that because I think people already know something about it. So the ones that have been picked so far are caffeine. People do know something about that, but it is a plant secondary metabolite. That'll work. And beta-carotene are the only ones that have been picked so far. So you can't pick the same one as somebody else in the class. Make sure that you're picking a compound, not a mixture. So alkaloids are a class. They are not a compound. Caffeine is an alkaloid. Another example is you can't pick antioxidants. That's too broad. You could pick resveratrol, which is a particular antioxidant, and that's okay. It has to be one chemical with one chemical structure. So the reason I make that rule is I had one time on essential oils because I didn't have people check it with me. And oh my gosh, come on. That is so broad. So it needs to be one chemical. Your talk needs to include a picture of the structure. So what is its structure? If the structure is not known, you don't want to pick that. Most of them, their structures are known. It's probably going to be some big organic structure. And then you need to talk a little bit about what are the important chemical groups, or if it's a planar ring structure, like why does that matter? Talk about the structure. A big component of this is why does the plant make it? We get very focused on what can we do with this. The plant will not be making this unless it has a reason to make this. So figure out what does this do for the plant. And then talk about why would people be interested in this. Some of these things can be used as stimulants, drugs, nutritional supplements for us, cancer treatments, like Taxol. I've had people talk about Taxol before. Why would people be interested in it? And then locate one research study, a primary research study from a group that's working on this compound right now, and cite it and just mention what are they researching. What's an example of current research into this compound? And then the rest of your content can be interesting information about that compound in history, or if it makes people infertile. That was a new one I learned about last year. Something that was originally developed as a natural contraceptive. I didn't know that. Fun fact, historical things, interesting information. You have 6 to 8 minutes. These are really brief. They ought to be pretty carefully planned. You need to have pictures throughout, except on the title slide. Cite your pictures where you got them, and educate the class on your metabolite. And the way that these do appear on an exam, and it's going to be matching. So like, I'll take what you say, and you'll take a little bit of notes on your classmates, and we'll have a list of compounds 1 through 16, and then there's a matching question on the test. And they're good. I mean, I like this project. I don't know if you like this project. I like this project. So last year these fell on Halloween, and I included as part of the project you need to dress up like your compound. This year it's the day before Halloween. But if you do make a costume based on your compound and you wear it to the talk and you wear it the next day to school, that can be extra credit. So that can be extra credit. You don't have to, but if you would like to, that would be awesome. Sydney had a really good costume last year in this class. So questions? If there's something that you're really interested in, go ahead and ask me after class so that you can reserve that compound.
Is there a paper that goes along?
There's no paper. You don't have to send me the slides beforehand. I'll be grading it in here as I watch it. So I don't want it to take up too much of your time, but for you to have practice developing a short talk about an educational item. Other questions? I don't have a deadline for when you have to tell me what it is, but check with me that it's an okay compound and that it's a single thing, not a mixture. If you can turn that off, we'll start a new bit.